Hello everyone, welcome to the cottage. I'm Joey the Veiled Cottage Witch, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. This may look like your average deck review, but this is not a deck that I'm going to be using for divination. This deck is what I'm going to be using for spell work, and as I go through these cards, I won't be using every single one of them for spell work, but if one of them comes up, I might talk about how I would use it in spell work, if that makes sense. So this is Messages from the Light Meditation Deck by Joyce Huntington. This visionary meditation deck delivers inspirational messages from the light that help illuminate ordinary things in life with a fresh new perspective. The cards invite you to look inwards as you focus gently on a spiritual image, allowing connections to surface beyond the conscious mind. And that right there is kind of how I do spell work anyway. So Messages from the Light cards help you develop gratitude, curiosity, and intention in your meditation work and guide you towards centering abundance and transformation. Includes 52 cards and 24-page booklet, and it's from US Game Systems. So let's take a look. Blank space. Listen, when you guys develop your own Oracle and Tarot, or don't leave blank spaces. It's boring. You could always put something. You could put a message. You can put a poem. You can put a symbol. There's always something you can put there. You can put the back of the artwork on there. So don't leave blank spaces. I know you've heard me a million times if you watch my channel. I hate it. Okay. So this is the description that was on the back. And these are the meditations that you can do. For instance, abundance. There is always more than enough. All manifestation precipitates from the ethers, which are infinite in nature. You are the cup. Everything you need and more is drawn to you. So you could use that and make a sigil from it. You could also, put it in to make it a chant or an incantation. Yeah, very simple guidebook, nothing special. Yeah, that's it, guys. And these are some readings that you could do. Just one. So there's not a whole lot to it, and you might just dismiss it if you saw it on the shelf. But me, I said this is a perfect opportunity for a tag lock, which is if you don't know what a tag lock is, it is something that stands for something else. So this would be a wonderful, and I put it out of order. Yep, I did. I sure did. Where's my abundance? It's supposed to be at the beginning, but that's okay. All right. So let's take a look at these cards, and then I'm not going to go too much in detail. Like I said, where's my porcupine quill? I can't do anything without my porcupine quill. What am I thinking? All right. So I see aspiration. I see a face and a ladder. So you're aspiring, so you're climbing to get to a goal. This would be a wonderful stand-in for what represents your goal. Beautiful. Love it. Awakening. This would be good for a new project. I don't think I'd really use this card too much. Birth, I would definitely use this card for new beginnings. You can see like this looks like the moon looks like it's coming out of the tree like a birth canal. I really like that. I might use this with several candles all around, like a cup, and using it. And maybe with every time I would use the incantation, maybe moving the candles closer and closer. So, yeah, absolutely. Bliss. This might be something that I would use for to create happiness, possibly. Because I see the bubbles, and that's always something nice. Maybe I would do this for someone else, and maybe with the bubbles, I would probably, I don't know. I don't know that I would use this. It seems too specific for me. Breakthrough. Oh, I would use this. I would definitely use this. And maybe a sigil. Maybe use this as a sigil, and then maybe tear the sigil at a certain time that I said the incantation. Maybe use numerology, and once I said it so many times, I would tear that sigil, and at that time, maybe light a candle. So, yeah, I would definitely use this one. Celebrate. I would use this with a simple gratitude incense that I would say that incantation, and then light some gratitude incense, and then just send it up nice and easy. Centering, I think maybe I would use this for meditation, just kind of go around and around and around with this and just focus. Maybe use our forest floor grounding and centering oil, and maybe after a very heavy working, maybe sitting up against a tree, maybe. Cherish. Probably wouldn't use this too much. Although if I did, I'd grab a real egg and make like a nest, a real nest. Life imitates art, right? And art imitates life. So the more you can do that, that's sympathy magic. Choices. I actually would use this card to be a significator in a tarot spread, and I'd use a choices spread. So this I would actually use in divination. Completion. Don't know if I would use this. Connection. I would probably use this with 2 different candles. If I were bringing a connection together, I would say the incantation and then move the candles closer together, say it again, move it closer, say it together, move it closer, say it together, move it closer. See what I'm saying? Until they're like right up against each other. Bringing connection together. Now, if I wanted to split that connection apart, I do the opposite. And then maybe say a different incantation. Contemplation. I probably wouldn't use this. I would probably just use a meditation of my own. Creation. I would probably, and you guys might laugh at me, and I don't care. Just putting it out there. I would use a coloring spell. I got these very awesome acrylic marker sets. If you've never used acrylic markers, you guys, they do not bleed, and they do not overlap. They're just amazing markers. I would probably I would probably color a picture of whatever I wanted to create and maybe put this so I can look at it, look at that word. And yeah, I would color a picture of what I wanted. Probably wouldn't use that. Curiosity. Dreamwork, I would probably use this to charge a dream pillow. Put this on my altar while I'm making a dream pillow. Family. If I were bringing a family together, I would use a candle, a different candle for each family member. And if I was bringing, same thing as connection, if I were bringing the family closer together, then I'd bring those candles closer together to represent that coming together as a family. Forgiveness. I would probably use this as a focal point and do a heavy meditation because this is a hard one for me. Not necessarily forgiving little stuff. I can forgive little stuff. It's big stuff. I have a hard time forgiving. And when I say big stuff, I'm talking about like family trauma, childhood trauma kind of stuff. So I would probably do especially some heart chakra work while staring at this card. Would probably be the best way that I would use this for spell work. Gathering. I hate to be redundant, y'all. I do a lot of candle spells. If you haven't learned, yeah. I'll tell you what I loved that we did when we made ourselves an official coven is everybody brought dirt from their homes, from their yard, and we combined them in a big, huge bowl. And everybody took home a little spell bottle about that big of dirt. Like we all combined it and we got to take home a little bottle of dirt. That was all of our dirt. And so that was pretty cool. So for gathering, I might do like a circle of string, right? And then kind of in that circle of string that was tied and made a whole circle, I would bring in candles that represented the type of people that I wanted in that. So like say I wanted compassionate, kind people, then I would bring in like maybe some pink candles and some yellow candles and some white candles to represent the kind of people I wanted to gather within that circle. So if that gives you guys any ideas. Grace. Oh, that's a toughie for me too. I'm working on that. Yeah, I would probably just do a simple candle spell. And then put that word and just focus on that incantation. While thinking about that and what I needed to be graceful about. Yeah. Gratitude. Again, we go back to that other word. What was that word? Oh, celebration. Yeah. That gratitude incense that I burn is so wonderful. I like to give thanks. Here we go. Here's something. I like to give thanks for something before I have it. So it's kind of like giving thanks for the fish you catch before you catch them, if that makes any sense. So I would probably use this as a money spell and set it all up for a money spell. So I would like make a little money bowl that has all those money herbs like cinnamon and clove and mint, and basil and all of that. And put some coins in there and set a green candle or a gold candle. It's hard for me to find gold candles, but a green candle, and be thankful for all the money that I just made at market. And then say that gratitude meditation in there for all the money that I made at made at market. Being grateful for something before you have it ensures it. So, that is something I learned a long time ago, and it's a little trick of mine, and it works, y'all. It works. Grounding. Again, I would sit up against a tree and do a meditation where I ground in with the tree, hook up with its roots, go as far as down into the earth as I can, all the way down to Mother Earth herself, bring Mother Earth energy up and be one with that tree. And, you know, I don't know that I could take this card with me, but I don't think I would need to. But if I need some really strong grounding, I'm going to find a tree. Group work. If I knew that I was working with a group, I would go where I was going to work with that group, and I would visualize the working that we're doing from start to finish. I would visualize that working, and everything that we had to do, start to finish. The more you see it, the more that it can work out. So that's what I would do. Guidance. If I need guidance, I'll go to my tarot cards. Or I'll go to Bobby and he'll read my tarot. Or I'll go to Val and she'll read my tarot too. Healing. Okay. I would put this on my altar while I made a healing puppet of myself. I've made several healing puppets for myself. My wife does the sewing, but I do the stuffing. She's such a good sewer. Yes, but this would be center point, and then I'd put the puppet right on top of it with a healing candle. And this would be sitting on a healing sigil, like maybe that I made in chalk or wood, a healing sigil that I made. There would be several layers. If I'm really sick, it takes me a couple of days to do all those steps, but I would do all those steps I could. Like step 1, I'm going to make the sigil. Step 2, I'll make the candle. Step 3, I'll make the puppet. Step 4, I'll gather the herbs. And step 5, I'll actually execute the spell, because I got to conserve my energy. So rest is best, but that's what I would do. Heart opening. Again, I think I would do some chakra work, some heart chakra work, while I was doing, I think I would get some rose quartz and some green aventurine. The green aventurine opens and the rose quartz heals. So I would work with the green aventurine to open, and then I would work with the rose quartz and healing. And this would all be done in some sort of meditation, probably in my astral temple. I would travel there. You guys, I wish I could share with you in my mind what my astral garden, astral temple looks like. Maybe one day I will let you guys know what it looks like, but I don't want anybody going there. Don't want anybody there. As crazy as that sounds. But yeah, I would do some kind of meditation. I would go to my astral temple. I would open my heart. I would do some healing work, and then I would close it and protect it. This would all be done astrally. Initiation. I think this would need to be done in a water setting, like in a bath. I think I would set some candles. You know, I'm a fire witch. I would set some candles around the bath, some beautiful music, and a cleansing beforehand, complete cleansing, and then purifying incense, of course. This would be like to initiate to and dedicate myself to maybe a new god or goddess that I was working with, or a new path that I was going into. And it would be like dunking myself into water and then coming back up. And of course, I'd have this like on the shelf to where I could see it. Yeah, it would be a beautiful ceremony. Insight. Well, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I would just smoke some weed while staring at this card. It kind of looks like that's what she's doing a little bit. Integrity. I'll tell you, for integrity, I would get dressed in my best, and it would be a very formal ceremony. I would do a full ritual, and it would depend on what it's for, but I would have a full ritual and dress to the nines, and it would be, I would have lots of beautiful incense like copal, frankincense, and I'd be in the center of the room, and I think it would have to be just me and a candle. One candle, just a white candle. And it would just have to be just focusing on myself and me and my higher self. Nothing else. No music, nothing. Just me and my higher self. Yeah, that's what I think. Intention, this could be anything. Literally anything. This could be anything because this is kind of like a wild card. Journey, I would use this for when I'm astral traveling. You know, if I'm not going to my astral garden, if I'm going someplace, like if I'm like actually leaving this earth, I would be using this, leaving this dimension. Knowing, you know, as clairsentient as I am, I would probably, this is how I would use this card. This card would be coming with me if I were doing readings all day, which I don't do anymore. It's just too much. I have a migraine by the end of the day. So this kind of would be like sitting on a little stand right there to let me know that, hey, you're using your brain too much. You know what you're doing. Kind of like a little reminder for me. That's how I would use it. There's the abundance. I would use this for not a quick money spell, but a long lasting money spell. Like my cup runneth over, as it is here, money spell. And I would have this, and I would have a green or gold candle. I feel like I've already said this. Let me get a drink. Yep, and I would, I'm so sorry. My mouth is really dry. And I would, again, do that gratitude practice. Actually, I found a meditation. Hit me up if you want it, and I will get it for you. Where you call upon the spirit of prosperity. It's so crazy though. Like, I was so intimidated, and I did it and I was like, wow. But it worked. It worked so well, y'all. So well. Yeah. I may leave that. I may write a note down to leave that in the comments. You know, I believe in the power of meditation big time. And you don't have to sit. I've done a meditation where I've cleaned this cottage while the meditation's going on. And, you know, you don't, I can walk and listen to a meditation. I love when I walk around the garden and just admire the plants and the birds and the flowers while doing a meditation. That is so fun. So don't feel like you have to sit and in lotus position like this person. Don't feel like you have to do that to meditate. You can meditate, but just, I do recommend noise canceling headphones. That is key. But yeah, I digress. Light worker. This would be good if you're doing energy work. This would be good to have going while you're doing energy work to constantly give you that energy. So you can have this in front of a candle just like this, going on in the corner while you're doing energy work. This would be perfect. Maybe with a little incense if your client is okay with that. That would be wonderful. Absolutely. Listening. I don't know. Maybe if I wanted to hear some messages from my spirit guides, and I would do this and put maybe, because my spirit guides talk to me through animals, maybe I'd have all my miniature animals, because that's what I have on my ancestor altars. Maybe have this and my ancestor candles and their animals all around, and then have a session where I just total silence and I just listen. That gave me chills. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, I want to do that. Okay. So love, I can see this right now. So I would want pink candles, and then I'd want like rose petals everywhere, and maybe uh, some hibiscus tea that you drink, and you know, just call in love. And I would not be using specific people's names, because let's not start a marriage with a kidnapping or anything like that. But maybe to strengthen the love that you already have. That sounds beautiful. Meditation, maybe if you're trying to start a meditation practice and you're having trouble, this would be a wonderful card to put on your altar, or in your bedroom, wherever you meditate. They say to meditate in the same place every day. I do, but like, if you're always going to be walking or around in the garden, that's not going to do you any good. So, dealer's choice really. But if you're having a hard time, I would put this on your altar to remind you to do it. So there you go. Mindfulness. It's hard for me to separate the two, between mindfulness and meditation, because they are very similar, but mindfulness is more like a way of life. So you can always put that on your altar to remind you to be mindful throughout the day. Yeah. Nature. I don't know that I would use this for spell work. Because if I was doing spell work with nature, I'd be out there. But maybe to honor what you've brought back from nature. If you've been foraging, this would be a great place to put it, maybe. New vision, maybe if you're developing a new psychic ability, this would be a good card to represent that. And you could maybe have third eye oil on, another shameless promotion for one of my oils. But this would be kind of a reminder to work on that, to strengthen that. Like, hey, time to pull a tarot card. Hey, time to pull an oracle card and see what you get. Don't look in the guidebook. It took me so long to read oracle cards without looking in the guidebook, and now I do it every day for you guys. It's hard sometimes. This would be good in front of like a scrying mirror. So, you know, you can kind of like, if you're working on scrying, that would be cool. Nourishment. This would be good on the fridge to remind yourself to eat right. I'm going through kind of like a crisis with what I eat right now, because I have GERD, and I cannot stray from my diet at all right now, like at all. So this would be a good one for me. Opportunity. If you're calling an opportunity in, I would couple this with something else. I would be a little bit more specific. An opportunity for what? For love, for passion, for money, for gratitude. Be specific, because this could be anything. I would couple it with maybe new vision. It's like if you want to learn something new, an opportunity for abundance, couple it with something else for sure. Passion, man, I'd get the passion flower out. I would get the rosebuds out. I would get the honeysuckle out. I would get lots of fun things out and lots of candles, as you see. And this would be placed in the bedroom. Just and a red candle. And yeah, I would have fun with this one. Patience. Yes. This one I would make into like a 7-day working, because if it's just a one and done, where's the patience? You know what I mean? It would need to be something that you worked every day for 7 days. Because you know how you make the punishment fit the crime? I would make the spell fit what you're working with. You know what I'm saying? So if it's for patience, it's going to be something you have to work for. So I might set out 7 candles and burn one, say the thing, say the incantation, and meditate for a minute or so. Day 2, light 2 candles, say the incantation twice. So you see where I'm going with this? And then meditate for a couple minutes. 3rd day, say it 3 times, light 3 candles. And see, by the time you're all the way up to 7, you're a patience pro. That's what I would do. I like that idea. See, you guys are just sparking my creativity here. Possibilities. Here's another open-ended one that I would have to couple with something else in here, like abundance. Possibilities for abundance. So that would have to be power source. Again, power source for what? Power source for new vision, power source for abundance. You can't leave the universe open-ended. You have to be specific. If you leave open-ended with the universe, they're going to finish their own sentence. And sometimes it's not what you want. Protection. I would make a protection jar. I would love to show you guys my protection jar. There's one buried out in the yard, but then there's this one. Everything's protective from the bottom to the top. There's eggshells down there, and then there's crystals all the way up at the top. And I just found a cool little bottle. It's not little, it's really big. That's what I would do. I would get a hold of a really cool looking bottle and get your protective herbs, your protective stones, and start layering it. I always start with salt. And if you don't like salt, like I use eggshells. So eggshells are always going to be my go-to. But if you don't like eggshells, you can always do salt. And if you don't like either, you can use flour. Flour is really from the earth. It's very grounding, right? So you can start at the bottom and then just layer your herbs And then you can finish it up with crystals, however you want to do it. It's too easy. It's really, there's no instructions. You basically intuitively build your protection bottle. So that's what I would do. I would have this and a protection candle that had the word protection or runes or ohm staves or a sigil that said protection, and whoever it's protecting. Whether it's you, your whole family, I'd have everything on there. And then I'd anoint it with protection oil and put protection powder over those sigils or over the whole candle. And I'd light that candle, and while I was working, and then I'd have this propped up on that candle while I was constructing that jar. And then say your incantation when it's done. Boom, there's your protection. All right. Renewal. This would have to depend on what you're renewing. Are you renewing a money bowl? Are you renewing a protection jar? Are you renewing love? Be specific. Stillness. You know what I like to do with a stillness spell? If I want things to just be calm, freezer spells. Freezer spells stop. And it doesn't have to be like you're putting anybody's name on it. It can be a situation. Like, things are going too crazy. I need things to be still. So maybe, let's just say your car keeps breaking down. So you write car problems on a piece of paper and you put it in some water and you seal it in a Ziploc bag and you put it in the freezer. Stillness. It's lovely. So this card could stay on your altar as a reminder that you've got car problems in your freezer. That way, if you're going to try and sell that car, you want to get that out of your freezer because it's no longer your problem. So that, everybody put, like, oh, freezer spell, put people in there. It's not just about people. Maybe it's, I have a problem with, I could so do this right now. I have a problem with people calling me or messaging me, wanting to help me boost my ads on my website. And I would love some stillness. So maybe I should put that in the freezer. Just shh. Just shush. Maybe I should do that. Surrender. Yeah, maybe this would be for people in the freezer. Maybe I just want them to stop bugging me. Maybe like bill collectors, stuff like that. Just stop. Freezer spells would be great. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And you don't have to even mix anything in there. But if you wanted to get nasty, slippery elm. You could get some slippery elm, and I can't believe I'm telling you guys this. You did not hear from me. Slippery elm is really good at like making them fall on their face. So, like say debt collectors, we put them in the freezer with some slippery elm, and maybe people are calling them and harassing them. Didn't hear from me. Anyway, Transformation, great. This is great if you are working on, and this would need another card too, but this is a great card for if you're transmuting one thing to another. Let's just say you are working for someone, but you're working on being an independent business owner. This is wonderful for that. And I would work with the violet flame. So I would get a purple candle, which is great. And any kind of representation of violet that you can. So like a picture of a violet flame, or if you could get Saint Germain, a picture, and just print it out of the violet flame. Is Saint Germain is the keeper of the violet flame. And so that would be a wonderful like representation. But even if you just have this card, it would be great. Because you're transforming one thing. So I'd have this card, almost set it on fire. So you have this card, you have a candle or something else representing you in the present. And then over here, you'd have a picture of you, ideally what you're transforming into. All right. And then, you are gently kind of moving into that. So you don't have to really move anything, but eventually you're going to blow this candle out so that this is the only candle that remains. I do easy spells, y'all. Don't make it complicated. Transmission, this would be good when working with your deities and past lives, ancestors. When you're trying to get mediums would work great, psychics and mediums. When they're trying to get information from the other side, this would be a perfect card to have out, to meditate on and just to be there to receive. Maybe have a candle up there, maybe in an etheric color like blue or green or purple would be a wonderful card to have. Maybe some mugwort, because mugwort is a wonderful psychic herb. So maybe have that burning with some lavender, maybe. And our last card, letting go. And this I brought out because I used it as an example on my title card. This would be great. This is what I made in one of my Lunar High Priestesses full moon spells. It had a lot more knots, but I've let a couple of them go. And it's when you need to release with that full moon energy that in which we made it, you untie one of these knots. And I've untied 2. So you build up that energy and you really with a lot of intent, and then you untie. So this is a knot magic witch's ladder. And so I would definitely be using this card to let go. This would be great in cord cutting, because you wouldn't be cutting anything, but you'd be releasing. So there you go. That is pretty much how I would use these cards in Spellwork. So a lot of times I will grab decks just for this purpose, and this is one of them. One of our coven mates, hey Megan, brought these in. I'm like, hey, give me that. And she's like, this is kind of dumb though. I'm like, wait a minute, you can use this for spell work. Are you crazy? And so I wanted to do a very specific video on the use of oracle cards. You can also do it with tarot. It's just a little more difficult, but oracle cards are where it's at when using them for spell work. So please give this video a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, hit that bell for notifications. If you would like, you can visit my website at theveiledcottagewitch.com and shop my online store where you can find holistic healing products and ritual and spell supplies. I've got tons on there and more supplies every week. So please visit. And at checkout, if you enter the code word, all caps veiled, you get free shipping. So that's a huge discount just for watching this video. So that's my gift from me to you. So don't forget to do that. And if you would like to financially support this channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee. All the details are down below, or you could just scan this QR code right here, but absolutely no pressure. Just live your best life and live for yourself. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.